Okay. Assalamualaikum, Sabrina. How are you now?
Waalaikumsalam. I'm very good. Thank you. How are you?
Hey, I think, okay, is your video okay? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, Sabrina, thanks for coming to this discussion panel. I'm
Mhm.
A.L. Said. I'm from Rethinking Islam, Reshaping Islamophobia. So this is part of our series to engage our youth and Muslims and non-Muslims and especially women on discussion about Islam and how we can reshape Islamophobia. Maybe you want to introduce yourself first.
Okay. My name is Nur Sabrina. I am from Malaysia, and I am a university student studying investment management. I'm 24 years old.
Okay, okay. Oh, you are in university or in Malaysia?
Sorry?
University in Malaysia, is it?
Yes.
Great. Okay, okay. Okay, Sabrina, let's dive into our questions and answers. Okay, we are going to talk about conflict in Palestine and Israel, which is quite a sad thing happening for Gaza. So we like to know about the mindset of people around the world. And we're glad that you're in the discussion. So let me ask you the first question. How does the
Mhm.
Palestine-Israel conflict personally affect you, and what emotion does it evoke? How do you feel?
Um, I feel deep agony and sympathy towards the victims, and I also feel deep repulsion towards the Zionists because of what they do, and they really have no mercy at all.
Okay, so you are really upset with the because you mentioned Zionist.
Yeah.
So Zionist is particularly not all Israelis. Is that what you mean?
The Israels and all of their supporters is what I mean.
Also, so all of the Israeli supporters including such as US and the Europe.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now the main thing happening around the world is boycotting of Israelis products.
Mhm.
Do you personally engage or support the boycott of Israel products? Do you or do you not?
Um, I do because I feel like it's the least I could do other than donating through appropriate channels or spreading information through social media in helping the Palestinians.
Okay. So how do you actually boycott maybe the products or services? How do you do it?
I refrain myself from purchasing products that support Israel, such as the fast food chains and other beauty products and consumer products.
Okay. Let's talk about the food products.
Mhm.
What food product do you boycott, namely?
Mostly Nestle, I think.
So Nestle.
Yeah.
Okay, Nestle. So okay, because there's been a trend going on about against McDonald's and Starbucks.
Mhm.
Do you boycott those products also?
Yeah.
What do you do? Okay, because I mean, personally, I felt that in Singapore, McDonald's is like a common product for us, so we usually eat every day.
Mhm.
And yeah, and some of my friends, especially my wife, told me one day, "Why are you eating McDonald's?" They because they are supporting Israel, and I was a bit confused. Then I realized that she told me that there were some burgers going around to Israelis, given free. So I was a bit taken back, but anyway, I'm not so sure about this. Then I told my wife, I said, "Okay, I'll follow suit," you know. So I'm a bit shocked. So you do boycott McDonald's and Starbucks?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, is this sentiment quite rapid in Malaysia or your friends or among your neighbors?
Yeah, I think it's very
Very prevalent. Okay, okay. Okay.
mm.
Okay, so Coffee Bean is Starbucks and McDonald's. Okay, how do you think economic measures such as boycott impact the dynamic of this Israel state? What do you think? How's this going to affect them?
Mm, I think at the lowest level, it might lower the morale of the ones supporting Israel, other than decreasing the funds, even though not much maybe, that are potentially funded in aiding Israel.
Okay. Okay. In what ways do you wish you could support Palestine in their struggle?
I think if I could, I would provide them with basic needs and care, such as food, shelter, or medical aid, or maybe helping them in defending themselves. But yeah, I don't think I'm capable of all that. So I just try my best in doing my part in boycotting.
Okay. Onwards, huh? Okay, we shall start. Okay, let's see. Do you see parallels between Palestine-Israel conflict and other geopolitical conflict, such as the Russia-Ukraine solution? What do you think about that?
Honestly, I'm not very informed on the Russia-Ukraine situation. So I think I would say no, not really sure.
Understand, because I've asked this question to some of our Muslims and do not know much about Ukraine, Russia, but when it came to Palestine and Israel, they were quite emotional about it. So maybe it's because
Mm.
of our Muslim brothers and sisters affected down there. Is it true? So you
Yeah,
agree? So
personally, I think it's the same.
okay. How can lessons from other conflicts inform our understanding of potential resolution for the Palestine-Israel issue?
I think an agreement could be reached between both sides, such as the plea for ceasefire in the conflict between Palestine and Israel. Although it may not solve the conflict entirely, but at least it would ease the sufferings of the victims, even temporarily.
Okay. So important there should be a ceasefire. I believe
Mhm.
now I think they are doing a ceasefire for 4 days as of 25th of November 2023. So do you
Yeah.
think is good or is gonna last?
Not sure, but I think I prefer for it to be longer. Maybe that should be 2 years.
What role do you believe international diplomacy plays in either exacerbating or elevating the situation?
Mm, I think an agreement can be reached, such as the request for ceasefire of the conflict. It may not solve the conflict entirely, but it might ease the sufferings of the victims, at least temporarily.
Yeah. Okay, how does your country feel and reacting, especially in Malaysia, a Muslim nation?
Muslim relations. I feel very deep hatred and anger, basically, just like how I explained in the first question. And I feel like the people who do not support Palestine and choose to be neutral is quite the same as the people supporting Israel because they choose to turn a blind eye.
So even the citizens of Malaysia, they feel like that.
Yeah, mostly.
Okay. So now we move to how the perspective of non-Muslims, especially your
Mm-hmm.
friend or your countrymen, if how have discussion about the Palestine-Israel conflict with your non-Muslim friends shaped your understanding or their understanding towards this issue?
Um, Personally, I have never discussed the conflict with a non-Muslim friend, but I am seeing a lot of non-Muslims supporting Palestine a lot more recently compared to how it was years ago. It eases my heart a bit that people are seeing the truth and realizing who are the actual victims of the conflict.
Maybe we can give one or two example, like how they feel. Do they also boycott certain products, or they do stand within their Muslim friend agree? Hey, yeah, I'm quite upset with those who are supporting Israel and not Palestine. How? Give me some one or two examples.
I'm not quite sure about them boycotting products that support Israel, but from what I've seen is that they joined the protests and the solidarity walks
Oh,
that they're, yeah.
oh, just a question. Any protest going around in Malaysia regarding this?
I, yeah, I think there has been a few
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
in a few weeks ago.
Okay. Have you encountered differing perspective among your friends? And how do you navigate those conversations if they have with you?
Uh, no, I have not, but I think if I were to encounter any, um, I would ask them what makes them think that way and have a proper discussion first and question the ones that are wrong in my perspective. And hopefully it will make them realize that supporting Israel is wrong.
Okay. Yeah. So, impact of professors or academics. In academic settings, how have professors influenced your understanding of the conflict? Because you're a student, I'm asking this question.
Yeah. Um, Previously, I never really knew how and why Israel is trying to take the land from Palestinians. But recently, one of the professors explained on the promised land for the people of Israel. So, yeah.
What is the promised land for Israel? That means Israel, the land was actually belonged to them at the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning it was supposed to be for them, but I think they refused to go there at first and now they want it back, something like that.
Okay, okay. Okay. Do you think educational institutions should play a role in shaping perspectives on geopolitical conflicts?
Mm, I think it is better not to, as it might also increase the chance of the spread of misinformation or propaganda, especially in countries that support Israel. But there is probably no harm in doing so, as each individual is subject to their own perspectives. And whether or not they choose to be affected by other other perspectives is entirely up to them.
Yes. Now we move on to our dear friend, medias. We
Mm,
believe that media actually have a great influence of information going to the public, and especially medias like CNN, BBC, and so forth. So, to what extent do media portrayals shape your personal views on the conflict?
mm, I think they provide a clear understanding of the situation and what currently is happening to the victims in Palestine. Also, what other people also think, and we try our best to spread the information to other people to gain their support for Palestine as well.
Okay. So, do you believe directly what BBC or CNN say about this conflict? Because sometimes certain media they are biased against
Yeah,
certain country. So, do you believe or you prefer to have a different channel?
I prefer to have a different channel.
So maybe what kind of channel? Maybe Al Jazeera? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
That is one of the. So you also do follow Al Jazeera compared to BBC or CNN. This is what my
yes.
other Muslim friends said, and also some non-Muslim friends they were telling me that they do not believe what totally CNN or BBC are saying because they amplify too much sympathy on Israel, and they are not, at least they should be sitting on the fence rather than supporting either one. So,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, so that is one interesting to take note. Okay, advocacy for change. What actions do you believe individual and communities can take to advocate for positive change in that region?
I think people should continue to boycott products that support Israel and continue showing their support for Palestine in their own ways, such as sharing information through their social media or participating in protests and solidarity programs. Also, most importantly, donating to the victims through appropriate channels.
Okay, so social media is one of the key things. And do you do it? Do you
Sorry?
advocate through social media?
Yeah, mostly.
Oh, okay, okay. I mean, I believe that's what many of them are doing. Either
Mhm.
they are supporting, I think they had this trend of wearing a particular color of t-shirt. I think last week. I'm not sure. I think it's green in color.
Yeah, it was
So,
green.
oh, so you took part in it. Okay, great.
I
Okay.
was
Yes, okay. Hope for the future. Okay. What are your hopes for the future of the Palestinian people, and what steps do you envision towards achieving those hopes?
Of course, I hope they will win the conflict and gain independence from the suffering that they are experiencing under Israel attacks. And I believe in order to achieve this, prayers and continuous support for Palestine, such as spreading information, donations, and protests, are vital.
Okay. In an ideal scenario, what role would you like to see your own community or country play in resolving the conflict?
Mm, I would like my country to show political support at the very least, but ideally, I would prefer for my country to send medical help and also support Palestine in terms of military.
Oh, what kind of have they done so? Malaysia, have they have done some or they have sent some troops or have they done anything? Your country?
I think they might have, but I also saw a video recently that um the Israel they find the products for Palestine and then they destroy it. So not sure about that, how they managed to get that.
I felt that I think Prime Minister Anwar, right? Prime Minister Anwar,
Yes.
he was quite vocal in supporting Palestine and Israel. So I think the US were a bit upset about this. So I think there's some message going between them. So we leave it at that. But it's quite interesting to see PM
Yeah.
Anwar supporting Israel, and I think many of your citizens are also supporting him in this stance.
Yeah.
Okay, opportunities to assist Palestine. If you are given an opportunity to directly assist Palestine, what specific actions or initiatives would you like to take?
Other than providing daily necessities for them, I think I would like to be a spokesperson involving in journalism to help amplify the voices.
Are you in journalism, or you like to specifically do your part in journalism to amplify the voices?
Not really, but if given the opportunity to, I think I
Okay,
would
you want
participate.
to, okay, great. I think journalism is one of the best way to, you know, protect and support our Palestinian brothers and sisters. I do believe in that. Okay, addressing government and people. If given a chance to address Israel state government and fellow citizens of Israelis about the Palestine-Israel conflict, what key points or message will you convey to them?
I think I would tell them that whatever they're doing is useless. They will never win, no matter how strong they think they are. In the end, I believe Palestine will win. Yeah.
Okay, I like this answer. No matter what, they can't win. The Palestine will definitely be there at the end of the day standing, and Israel, no matter how Goliath they are, they won't be able to beat the David, which are the Palestine. Okay, let me ask about the Hamas missile attacks. In your opinion, do you believe that Hamas had the right to launch missile attacks on Israel? Why or why not? Why and why not?
Um, yes, I think they have the right to do so because they are simply defending their rights and retaliating the attacks that are barraging upon them.
Yeah. But do you think that Hamas missile attack can make any difference in Israel? Because these are tiny missiles, and Israel have a good support system for anti-missiles.
Perhaps not, but at least it's something, and so that Israel doesn't cannot think that they can simply step on Palestinians without any counters.
You're right. At least when Hamas attack, I mean, it was quite creative, isn't it? They came down with parachute, and then they
Yeah.
start, yeah. So it was really different kind of war or battle or fight. They brought it on to Israel, and nevertheless, Israel, although their weapons are powerful, these Hamas were creative. Do you think so?
Yeah, I think they're very um their strategies are out of the box maybe.
Yeah, right. It's out of the box. Okay, come to I think last or one or two questions. How do you think such actions impact the overall dynamic of the conflict, and what alternatives might be considered?
Hmm, I think as much as it might give a negative perspective towards Hamas and Palestine, and also gives Israel the chance to spread misinformation and propaganda on Hamas, I think it is very much necessary as they are simply defending themselves and their rights. Although I cannot think of any alternatives as I don't think I am very educated in war affairs. Negotiation, however, also might not work, I think, because of how inhuman Israel's are.
Okay, cool. I mean, we have seen how they actually bombard hospitals, schools, and civilian. So it is
Hmm.
quite sad and even scared to know that their way of doing things is inhumane. But do you think that there are some civilians of or citizens of or people of Israel are supporting this, or they may not like what the state of Israel government is doing?
I'm not sure if any of the Israeli civilian is against what the government is doing, but I am aware that some Jews do support Palestine and is against Israel. So that's all.
I mean, that's good to know that there are some Jews who do support Palestine and condone the Israel act. Okay. Okay, Sabrina, we have come to the end of our discussion. I'd like to thank you
Mm.
for your time taken. And this actually have highlighted that many nations and many Muslim brothers and sisters are against this Palestine and Israel conflict, and they have a lot of emotion tied down. And your answers are quite diplomatic. It's more like we like to go for more diplomatic way of handling the situation rather than war and terrorism or hurting people. So it's good to know. And I'm glad that I've met you in this Zoom and discussion, especially my neighboring country, Malaysia, you know. So do you like to conclude and like to say something?
Maybe not.
Okay. Can okay, then we'll come to the end of discussion. Okay, thank you, Sabrina. Then we'll meet again for other discussion. Thank you.
No, thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was a discussion with Miss Sabrina. She's a student in one of the universities in Malaysia, and her feelings towards this conflict can be quite seem emotional because before this, she did speak to me about how she felt, and she could be emotional when answering the question. So she just informed me that she might have some difficulty in answering certain questions because of the emotions. But nevertheless, it was a good discussion. And stay tuned. There'll be more conversation with our fellow Muslims and non-Muslims around the world. And we will continue reshaping Islamophobia. And see you soon.